an intro? That would be hilarious. Let's get ready to party, baby. Bringing it. Bring it. Hey, everyone. Welcome in. I'm trying to figure out how to deal with an emergency situation that just occurred. And it's not an emergency in my real life. It's apparently an emergency on YouTube. And I'm going to lose my mother effing mind here real fast. So I love how people like to come in and threaten me and think they're gonna make me nervous and have a good day afterward. We will have to address that at another time, or I'll do it right now if I have to. So push me just a little harder. Come on up here, Punky. I do not get involved in other people's lanes for good reason. And give me 1 second. I think Kid is in the cat treats again. Kid. She was in the cat treats. Okay. So I would like to do the original stream that I planned to do today. And I appreciate you guys coming for it. These streams typically don't have as many people that attend them. And in all honesty, I appreciate that because I really wish every day our streams were like that, to be serious with you guys. Like, I really like when people come who want to be here and want to explore and talk about the topic at hand. I wish that every day was like this, where people came because they wanted to be here. Hey, Kat. It's very nice to see you, Kat. Hey, Charcoal Ninja. Hey, Chrissy Twig. Mods, thank you for being here. I don't know what that means, Amy Knight. Hey, Chewini Love. Aspire to Inspire. Robin Miners, welcome in. Let me fix my bra straps. I really like this shirt. Thank you, M. Khalees. Hey, Hope. Hey, Honey Lou. I love this, but it's super cropped. I bought it when the ladies came to celebrate my birthday at that store up on the square where I've streamed before, called Trendy Pieces. They have this in a t-shirt and a tank, and I really liked it, but my God, it's very cropped on a body like mine. I have a giraffe body. I have Chihuahua legs, but I have a long body. Hey, Debbie Zito. Hey, Brock. So, excuse me. Hey, Abigail. Thank you, Abigail. I thought so too. Yeah, Amy Knight. Hey, Jen Finberg. Hey, Gigi. Cindy G. So, again, excuse me, everyone. Something just fell into my plate. I'm really upset about it. It has nothing to do with me. It's not my lane. It's got nothing to do with me. And someone is being very threatening and aggressive. And it's really going to piss me off real fast. Hey, Liz Tricks. Hey, Tamber June. Hey, Megan. Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm not worried about it. I just didn't. The only reason I muted that is I didn't want to demonetize myself saying the F word 10 times. Hey, Karen. So go for it. I think it's a great idea. Hey, Caroline in Canada. So, I'd like to get my head on straight here. I've been looking forward to this stream for a while, and like I say, something just came across me. Um, Abigail, it would be hard to do. I have to gather my thoughts on what just happened in the last 5 minutes. That's why I'm late. Hey, Lupita. Hey, Holly, and oh, I hope I'm not freezing up. Am I freezing up? I don't think I am because if I were freezing up, people would be telling me I'm freezing up. Okay. I need to take some time to process this before I snap and lose my fucking mind. I'm live right now, so I'll talk to you later. Hey, Tito. Hey, Debbie Gonzalez. Hey, King's Kid. Hey, Henry's World Today. I'd like to get, okay, thanks, Dee. I'd like to get into the right frame of mind here. If you'll give me just a second, I was really excited about this. Hey, Mother Revenge. I was really excited to do this stream, and I still am. I just have to get back into the mindset. Okay. Thank you, Donna Cooper. Hey, Sassy Savage. Gabriel, welcome in. Yeah, it's really hot here. Hey, no, Lady O. Hey, DNV. So the God stream. I really, really, really enjoy the God streams, and I'm still going to enjoy this God stream because like I say, I've been looking forward to it. We talked about it last week. Was it last week that I got sick or the week before? Hey, solo traveler. Hey, Allie. Hey, Patty. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but I had been wanting to do God stream for a little bit now. And I still do, and I planned it for today, and I'm not today, Satan. Hey, Jenny Jinjin, and I'm very much looking forward to this stream. And I appreciate, hey, Bucking, I appreciate all of you who attend these streams because they really do help me in a very selfish way. These help me a lot because I am very what's the word? I'm not educated at all. I have not read the Bible. Hey, Tammy, I have not read the Bible, and I was born and raised a Scientologist. Is this a God stream or a religious stream? This is a God stream and a spiritual stream for me. I don't know what other people would say. Chewini love for me. This is a stream where I ask questions about God. We keep it kind of an open discussion, and it's just more me trying to learn things. But it's certainly, I just want to be very clear. I want to be very clear. This stream, these streams that I do, this is not a Christian channel, okay? And I have said this 100 times. It's worth repeating. Anybody that's like, do you know the Lord? Freaks me out. I don't like that. I don't like pushing God on people. I don't want to push my beliefs on anyone. I had to do that for 38 years in Scientology. I'm simply here discussing this topic because I am here to learn about it, not teach, learn. I'm always here to learn, not teach. So that's what it's about. Spirituality is not a religion. I'm not putting labels on it, Chewini love. I just come here to have an open discussion and ask my questions about God, Satan, heaven, hell. I just really like to open up. I don't have a script. I don't have any notes on this. So you choose if you want to be here or not. I'm not pushing my beliefs or my thoughts on anyone. It's actually the opposite. I'm here asking you for guidance because I could do a 2-hour stream on Scientology any day and answer every question under the sun that you have. I can't do that when it comes to God and faith and spirituality. But it goes where it goes. Therefore, I'm not going to put any, hey, Angie, hey, Karen, I'm not going to put any labels on it. However, what we won't do is push thoughts, beliefs, anything on anyone. And these always end up being very respectful somehow with hundreds of people all gathered around with all different religions, faiths, beliefs, all of that. I am very respectful of anyone who believes in God, who doesn't believe in God, Catholic, Jewish, whatever it is. Some people are witches. I'm totally open and welcome all people, all walks. Everybody is allowed to be here. Just please be kind. Hey, Puka Vista. Drive-in fan. I'd say so. Baby Lilypad, thank you for becoming a member. It's really kind of you. Thank you to everybody who does that. I really appreciate it. So, I've been having some basically when we do these streams, the reason we do them is because there you go, Joanie Love. The reason we do them is because usually I'm building for it, like in my head. I start thinking about things and I'm very curious about God. I'm very curious about the concepts and they just things that are not of this world. And SP Mac, I love it. So was my mom. My mom was brought up. She went to a whole entire from all the way to 12th grade Catholic school. So, and a lot of people did. And like I said, I find all of those things interesting and fascinating. And I never want to be disrespectful of anyone's beliefs. All I ask is that you be respectful of everyone's beliefs and don't tell someone they're wrong or they shouldn't do this or that. I mean, that's not cool. Do whatever you think is right, but we can't control what other people are going to do anyway. There's no sense in trying today. I don't think we should start today. I love that, Patty. So just some things that have been building up in my mind for the past few weeks that I have found really interesting. And I always learn something new in these streams. And the more I think about stuff, because I'm a deep thinker, but I'm a overthinker, right? I wouldn't say I'm a deep thinker because I'm so smart, because I don't consider myself very smart. I'm a deep thinker because I am behind by 38 years. I feel like I have so much I need to catch up on coming from Scientology. And so I find myself being like, whoa, that's interesting. I wonder what that means. What does that have to do with that? And I find myself wanting to learn as fast as I can what you guys know and what's going on in the world, if that makes sense. I'm trying to unlearn everything I knew in Scientology and catch up learning all the things now, right? That I want to know about. And one of the things in Scientology is I could not ask about God. I did. I asked about the story of God or Jesus when I was a child, well into my 20s and 30s, and I got shut down. So no matter what Scientology tells you, you cannot do both. You cannot be a Christian Scientologist. You can't be a Catholic Scientologist, a Jewish Scientologist. None of those things are real. That's all PR garbage. It's not true. I mean, they'll tell you it is. You can find a Scientologist that will go, oh, yeah, no, we're Jewish and Scientologists. No, they're not. They're not. Hey, Case Face. Thank you. Thank you, Case Face. I do. I have a big thirst for knowledge about this topic. Because, yeah, Chowini Love, I love that, because I wasn't allowed to explore this topic. So I find it very fascinating now, and I have questions. That's all. That's all these streams are about. I'm just trying to open up that side of me that was never allowed to do that before. So I was saying, Lisa, I was thinking about the concept. I mean, I'm always thinking about God. Within the last year now, probably, I just feel like I don't know how you would put it, found God. I was very curious about God, very curious about God. Yeah, Abigail, exactly. I was very curious and I kept kind of wandering more just with my own thoughts and trying to maybe have a conversation with the idea of God, with myself and God, and trying to understand I always felt a bit of a jealousy, not jealousy, but envious a little bit, which is pretty much the same thing. But I felt myself being envious of people. Yeah, Tito, I love that. Envious of people in this world who had a very close connection with a God, a higher power, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, whoever it is they felt a close connection to. I found myself being envious of that. And you might go, how did you know anyone with a close connection to God if you were a Scientologist? Well, I worked in senior living for quite a while. And all of the older people that hey, Helen, all of the older people that I got the privilege to become friends with and know and really, really, really love, talked to me about God a little bit. And I also just got to see their connection with God. And it made me just feel the peace, if that makes sense, that they had with God. And then I, of course, met Fred, which is my husband who passed away. And um, Fred really was the first person to put me at ease about the concept of God. Fred was Baptist and he was so chill about the concept of God. And I was not. I was always nervous about the idea of God. I was very fearful of the idea of God. Scientology put some real weird thoughts into our heads about what God is, and it's not real, but it's called an implant where it's like planted into us. And it all was thank you, Kathy Burkhardt. It was all very mysterious, but also they make it fearful. So when I met Fred, Fred was like, at the end of his life, he was in his 90s and he went to church and he carried his Bible most places. He had a really cool white leather bound old Bible. And he prayed before his meals and he was not quiet about it. He's very open about it. And he would just say to me things like, he'd talk about death because he knew it was coming at some point. Thank you, Susan. And I would go, please don't talk about that. And he would go, oh, sweetheart, it's no big deal. When God pulls your name out of a hat, you just go home to God's house. And over the years, my being with Fred put me at ease when he would say things like that. He made it seem so approachable. He made it seem kind of warm. And I say it, meaning God, the concepts of God. He put me at ease about it. And yeah, like I was in trouble with God, Barbara Waite, is kind of how I felt. Like the concept of God made me feel very nervous and fearful. What was the best thing Fred ever told you about God? Probably that. He would say to me, it's no big deal. You just go home to God's house. He pulls your name out of a hat. And he sat and talked to me once in his car. Hey, Pat Jonas. And he said that, yeah, Holly, he said something. I can't remember the entire conversation now, but I remember him saying to me that, God is going to bless me throughout my life and that I don't have any, I'm going to cry, that I don't, no, I don't know, Abigail, that I don't have anything to worry about, that God really loves me. And I remember, and this was such a foreign conversation at the time. It was so foreign, right? I was surrounded by Scientologists and then Fred. And so he's telling me this, and I'm like, this is like a foreign language to me. But I sat there and listened, and I don't hope. I sat there and listened. Love you too, Cindy. And he said, God really loves you. You don't have anything to worry about. He's going to bless you throughout your whole life. And hey, Natalie, yes. And I will never forget him saying to me, he would always call me kid. And I remember him saying, you're going to walk streets of gold, kid. You don't have anything to worry about. You're going to walk streets of gold. And for whatever reason, I didn't know what that meant. And I still don't really know what that means. But it was so warm and it made me feel closer just a little bit to God. The concept of God, the idea of God, I felt less fearful and just a little bit more warmed up and kind of comfortable and not so uptight and nervous about the concept of God. And him just saying, God really loves you. You don't have anything to worry about, was so foreign to me. Oh, I love that, Cindy G. Was so foreign to me. I love that, Liz. But I took to it I accepted it. I didn't cast it off. Like other people who I had met in my life, who of course had nothing to do with Scientology, would, hey, Ruby, would say things to me about God. And I would go, oh, yeah, okay. Right? Like I was like, Okay. Like it just didn't compute. It was not something I comprehended at all. And I wasn't disrespectful to them to their face. Thank you, Debbie Beck, of course. But in my head, I was like, yeah. And that's my own insecurities. That's not anything to do with those people who talked to me about the concept of God. It was my own judgment and rejecting the idea of God. And I always had, because from the very young age, I think I was 6, my dad told me it's all made up. Like Jesus, God, all of this is just made up crap and it's shoved down our throats and it's an implant. And he was very angry with me for asking about it at that age. So from a very young age, I kind of got the idea like we don't talk about God and God ain't real. Like all of this is crap. That's how I grew up. And then as I got older and my dad was still around, he would go, God is a bunch of bullshit. There is no God, right? Like he would say that. And so I was always curious. I didn't go into that belief with him. I did not agree with it. But I knew what I could ask and what I couldn't ask. And I knew that I could not ask about that. But my entire life, I have had curiosities, like childlike curiosities about God. And I've always thought, like, what if I could have a relationship with a God, if there is a God? Like it started to get stronger and stronger for me as I've been out of Scientology. And then as I realized one day being out of Scientology last year that like I can explore this. I can try to even talk to God. I don't know how. And I was very nervous too. And I remember saying, like, I know you're busy if you're real, but I'd like 2 minutes of your time to just like, that's really truly how I started talking to God. I was like, I know there's 8 billion people. And I know that like, if you're real, I was so nervous. Hey, Brand's mom, that I was like, can I just have 1 minute of your time? I just want to say this. And then hey, Rachel. And I started to get a little more comfortable. Hey, beautiful dreamer, welcome in. And one day, so I wish I knew when this was, but I think it was close to a year ago now. Um, I swear, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I just got this like, oh, hey, Jeannie, welcome in. I got this overwhelming feeling it's like it's hard to explain, but like my husband who died, I still very much have always believed way before I connected with God. I always believed that Fred is around. He told me he would be. Before he died, he said, I'm just going to go home to God's house, but I'll still be around. I'll still watch you. I'll still be around. And I really took that seriously. So I've always, since he died, felt like he's got some connection between him and God lets him. Hey, Neil Clark. God lets him watch me. God lets him help protect me, I think, with angels or spirit guides or whatever. I just always get that impression. And maybe once or twice a year now, the reason I'm saying this is I will get some kind of a message, like a concept. And I know it's not me. And sometimes I'll get it in Fred's voice. And the reason I know it's from somewhere else is because I know. I'm like, that wasn't me. That wasn't my thoughts. It's like someone crammed their own message into my mind, because I'll be like, what? Like I have heard Fred say, sometimes when I'm awake, sometimes in my dreams, but I have heard him say what he used to say to me a lot. He'd say it randomly out of nowhere. He'd go, God, you're beautiful. Like he would just say that to me. And I've heard him say it now, right? So I'm like, that wasn't me. Well, this happened to me, but it was God. I assume. I assume it was God. This wasn't Fred. But about a year ago, I had this amazing moment, and it was overwhelming, and it couldn't have been rejected if I wanted to. I couldn't have rejected it if I would have tried. It was way bigger than me. It was way more powerful than me. And it was this warm message. And I swear it was going back to, I remember the moment I stood. I was wearing a little plaid robe No, DNV. I was wearing a little plaid robe. I think I was 6, I could have been 5, and I was standing in my dad's bedroom in front of this little stupid TV with a built-in VCR, and I was standing next to it asking him about Jesus. And he slapped me down verbally and was like, "We don't believe in that bullshit." He was like, "Some woman who got pregnant, immaculate conception." He was like, "It's all a bunch of bullshit." He was mad. And the moment that I felt that intense, overwhelming feeling about God about a year ago, I swear I was validated for that moment when I was 6. I felt God say to me, "I know that you reached out. I know that you were curious, and I was there the whole time. I saw it all, and I know you. I've known you your whole life. It's nice to meet you." It's kind of the gist was like I have been here. They did not let you meet me. They did not want you to meet me, right? Like the other thing that I swear it was like was said to me was something like, "Hey, Tracy," something along the lines of the message was they closed all the windows and the curtains and they wouldn't let you look. Like they shut you in a room with just walls, and you weren't allowed to explore it, but I was there. And it's not really your fault that you weren't allowed to explore it. They wouldn't let you. But it was very much, "Hey, Renee B," like this warmth of like, "Welcome. I just want you to know that like I know everything about you, but I'm happy to finally meet you and you're allowed to meet me." Was just kind of this, it was just a very overwhelming, it happened fast, but it was this quick message of like, "I do exist. You don't have to carry everything anymore. Everything you were told is a lie." And it was just really overwhelming for me. And it was undeniable. That's what I mean. I don't, since that moment in my life about a year ago, um, that's a great question, Amy. Since that moment in my life about a year ago, I've never once gone, "I don't know if there's a God. Maybe there's a God." Like I'm 100, hey, Alicia Johnson, I'm 100% sure that there is because of that moment and experience. I did not make that up. It wasn't a dream. It was way too clear and concise and just very like, "I'm here and it's very nice to meet you. I know everything about you." And so ever since then, my life has changed. To be honest, my life has changed in all the best ways, meaning I talk to God now. I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. Hey, Sandy Kovacs, I didn't know how to talk to God in the beginning. I mean, I was literally like, sir, like I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it. But now I've told you guys, I drive in my car and I'm like, "Hey, remember that time?" Like I talk to God all the time. I thank God all the time, every single day on my walks, in my backyard, while I'm cooking. I will say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for introducing yourself to me, for all the things you do." Like it makes a huge difference coming from Scientology, where everything's your fault. Everything you created, you are God. That's what they teach us is we are the gods. So we just forgot that we're God, but we're responsible for everything, everyone, every car accident, every sickness, every like I don't want that responsibility. I was never comfortable with it. I was told I had that responsibility. I never wanted it. And so now I know I don't need to carry that. It never was mine to carry. I always felt that there was something bigger, and I always felt like this is bullshit. Like we're all underneath a veil right now in Scientology is kind of how I felt all the time. As far as God, I always felt like there was this reference that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. I've talked about it a lot. I should look through my email to see if I can find it. And he says in this reference, if you get attacked by a grizzly bear or eaten or killed or whatever by a grizzly bear, that's your fault because you are God. Basically, you're the God and you put the bear there in the first place here on earth that you created. That reference used to piss me off every single time I read it because I thought, no, I didn't. Pretty grand of you to tell me what I did in a past life or created or all of that. And that was a part of Scientology I just couldn't wrap my mind around. Of course, I pretended to, and I drank, the Kool-Aid about it, and I never questioned it. But in my own mind, I was always like, I'm not powerful enough. There's something more to this, and we're being lied to. It used to piss me off every time I read it. I was like, no, that's not true. I don't have that kind of power, and I don't want that kind of power. Right? So you have to understand the what I know now and what I feel now is Sigrid is so beautiful because I can go, I don't feel responsible for those things anymore. And accidents happen and I'm not responsible for them, right? And illnesses occur and they're not my fault. And tsunamis and grizzly bears, those things happen on this planet that have nothing to do with me or you. We didn't do it. So I love that I can, what you guys say, like give it to God. I love that. And so I do. And I talk to God and I feel so much more at peace. I've never been more at peace in my life now. And maybe that's why a lot of you reach out to me and go, how do you handle the hate so well? How do you deal with these bad situations so well? Because I'm so grateful that I have now met God. And no matter what, I know I'm going to be fine. And things are always better when I talk to God and when I thank God and when I pray to God and I ask for things. And the biggest thing that I pray for is peace. I pray for peace, but I also pray for, and I still do this to this day, clarity through the illusions. Because my job and the people I meet and the situations in my life, it's like magic shows sometimes. It's bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. People lie to you. People are not upfront with who they say they are. So I always ask God, I'm like, please continue to give me clarity through the illusions of what people do down, the bullshit strings people pull down here on earth. Please help me to just have clarity and walk with clarity, and that will bring about peace. Do you think in your darkest moment that you have felt him with you? So Amy Knight, I don't know that I felt God with me like decades ago, but I look back on some of my darkest moments and I think of all the comfort or safety that came with that, like close calls, right? Like one of the biggest things for me is when I was little, starting at the age of 7, my mom left when I was 6. So around the age of 7, I was home alone all the time. My dad went and hustled pool for a living with the company he owned too. And so he would leave for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days at a time. And I was 7. And I would go walking to school every day, to and from school. It was a mile. He left $100 bill on the table and he would go get whatever you need. And I would walk up to the local Town and Country. It was like a gas station grocery store on 45th and Leavenworth in Omaha. And I would walk up there as a 7-year-old and I would buy Snapple. I would get candy. I would buy like little sandwiches and stuff. So when I look back and think about that, and I think about all of the horrible things that could have happened to me, like a predator could have been watching going, that little girl is home alone. He leaves for days and she walks to and from school. Like I could have been abducted. I could have been, somebody could have broken into the house and hurt me, abused me. I think of all the things that as a child where I should have been protected by an adult. And there was, from the age of 7 to 13, I was home alone. So I just think of all the things that could have occurred, right? So I absolutely look back on that and I believe that I was protected and watched. And that was part of the message that I got was I've known you since forever. And so that's one of the things that I thank God for a lot is just my life and n- not ever getting into real painful, hurtful, sticky situations. I feel like I've been kind of protected from that. He was sitting there watching George Carlin with you, Reese. He was. And I also believe in angels. And I feel like God probably said, you know, uh, that one's home alone and make sure that you watch that one. And I think he probably does that for all children on earth because kids and animals to me are the most innocent beings here that should always be protected. So, I would say Amy Knight that probably was part of could have been my darkest moments. I mean, I really could have wound up on a milk carton, right? Easily. It's not like my dad left me home alone once when I was little. This went on for years and years. And I hated it. I mean, a lot of times I was scared. I had all the lights in the house on. I never got used to it. I was always afraid of the dark. I was afraid of noises. The only thing that comforted me there was my animals. I am very grateful that my father at least allowed me to be less alone with my animals. And that was one thing that I'm thankful for that my dad allowed was I was like, I want to get a ferret. I got a ferret. I want a cat. I got a cat. I want a dog. I got a dog. I had a snake. I had a guinea pig, right? Like all of those things kept me very loved and kept me in good company. And I loved going home from school every day to see my animals. So I also believe that God put the animals there to comfort me. Um, Abigail, this is heaven. The wall was made of jasper. Is that a gemstone? I'm not sure what jasper is. The 12 gates were made of pearls, each gate from a single pearl. The main street was pure gold, as clear as glass. Thank you, alligator, for coming in. Hey, Marie Marion. So that's what Fred was saying. Thank you, Abigail. I've never actually read it before, but people have said that that's what he meant by you're going to walk streets of gold, kid. It's really touching to actually read it from the Bible. Thank you, Abigail. He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Old Testament. Thank you, Abigail. I love your scriptures and I'm glad you could be here today. Thank you for the super chats. Um, so yes, Amy Knight, that was a great question. And I absolutely believe, that he's always been there. I don't have any doubts. So I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. And so every day now, every day of my life, I always see something that I'm grateful for in like a huge way. And I'll always say to God, like, you are so impressive to me. I don't know a lot about God, but I'm very impressed by God and I'm very unafraid of God now. I don't feel fearful anymore at all. I feel like I can run to God with my deepest, heaviest problems. I so I haven't even talked about yet what I want to talk about, but I'm going to now. I had a I had a chat with Tommy the other night about this, and I love talking to Tommy about this stuff because he's really well versed on the Bible, and he can help answer some of my questions. Hey, Jen Marie, and there's some things I just never think about until I talk to someone about it. Yeah, Mother Revenge. This is the Kleenex I stole from my mom's garage. Um, and one of the things I never thought about before until the other night when I asked Tommy, and it made me really emotional in a good way. But we were talking about basically like heaven and hell. And obviously no one knows, but I love you too, Gabrielle. Thank you. Obviously no one knows, right? But I just said to him, I said, when we die, he said, when we die, you go, right? Like you go before God and thank you, Patty, and Jesus, you go before them. And I was like, what happens? Right? Like, and he was like, well, that's where, I mean, no one knows, but like you meet God and you it's decided, right? Like if you're going to go through to heaven or if you're going to go to hell. And I just said, so I actually will like it's overwhelming to me to think about that because I love I will be literally putting on mascara in my bathroom talking to God. And I'm like, I love talking to God. I just talk to God a lot now. I find myself it's just very heartwarming for me and just uh hey lilac lime. It's just very calming. It just brings it's just such a warm, calming effect. And I was like, so I'll get to like meet him? I was like, so how does that work? I was like, do I really get to like he goes, well, Jesus is there too. I mean, that's what they believe, right? Not everybody believes this, but I do. And he said Jesus will be there too. And I said, no way. Like, really? Like, this is why I'm kind of not afraid to die. It sounds so amazing. And I was like, hey, Nicola, I said, do you think that I could hug God? And he was like, are you kidding? Yes. And I said, no way. And he was like, Jesus is going to give you a huge hug, of course. And I was like, no way. Like, that's just such a cool concept to me. I realize the haters watching this right now are laughing, or a lot of people are probably mocking this right now. But that sounds like such a dream. Like, that just sounds so amazing. And it's not something I've ever thought about before. And I just love the idea. I hope he's right. I hope that's true. Like, I really, really, really love that. Because sometimes things get heavy down here, And I just think a nice hug from Jesus would be cool. Hey, Christy Lynn Wilson. Um, thank you, Pat Jonas. So I thought that was really neat. And then I started, thank you, Lisa. I started asking more questions to Tommy. And I was like, I always get fascinated by the concept of hell too. And he told me about some book called Dante's Inferno. And it's apparently some guy. I said, do they talk about this in the Bible? And he said, no. But some guy apparently like had a vision or something about hell or saw hell. I'm not really sure. But that's where the layers of hell happen. Like there's different places, like pockets of hell. I'm not really sure. But he was explaining it to me like, that could be the case. No one knows. Again, no one knows. And I said, where is hell? Like, is it in the Bible where it's located? And he said, some people say like it could be in the center of the earth. He goes, I personally believe, and this made more sense to me. He said, I personally believe, it's talked about in the Bible, Patty, but Tommy told me that the Bible doesn't say there's like the different circles of hell and all that. I don't know. But he said, I personally believe it's like another dimension, just like anything. He said, I think it's not here on earth. It's like another dimension where they can go in and out of. And I said, that actually makes more sense. And he just said that Yeah, Barbara. He just said that, I said, "Do you think that L. Ron Hubbard's in hell?" And he said, "Oh, absolutely, yes." He said, "I do. I believe that." He said, "I think he is absolutely in hell." And I said, "What happens, do you think, in hell? Like, what goes on there?" And I did not know this, and it really fascinated me. Um, "Oh, wow, I didn't know that, Cheryl." And he said, I had the idea because I talked to Liz Tricks about this once, and Tommy. The idea of hell is basically like separation from God, which makes sense. So you can't call out to God. There is no more um you're sealed off from God, which is a frightening thought. But I did not think of this. He said, "You're also separated from others." Because I go, "What if your wife is in hell and you get there too?" And he goes, "Well, you're not allowed to be together, in my opinion." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because that would provide comfort." He said, "You could comfort each other." And I was like, "Oh my God, I never thought of that." And he goes, "There's no comfort in hell. There's none. You can't comfort someone." And that made me think of Scientology. Like, you can have a husband or a wife in Scientology, but you are separated. There is a wedge between you. You are not allowed to bond. You can't bond with your children even. Like, that's why there's the snitch culture. I thought that was absolutely bizarre. I never thought of that, but it makes total sense, right? Like, I figure hell is like where all the bad people go and they're all like partying down there. And he was like, "Oh no." No. He said there's no connection. And he said people are pretty much tortured there. And I said, does Satan run hell?" And he said, "I think so, yeah." And I said, "Does he come to earth?" And he said, "Yeah, I think he does both." He said, I think he's here and I think he goes there." And there were so many similarities to like just Scientology to me. But then I started thinking about this. And this was my own concept, and this is what's kind of fascinated me in the last week from how I think about it all the time now. This concept that came to me that I was like, I want to talk about that. So I just saw, was it Sassy? Sassy said, "I believe Earth is hell." Sassy, I can see why you would say that, but what I think is this. I think that we all experience hell here, but it's in like we get a taste. But I think we also experience heaven here, but we get a taste. I think that heaven is completely extreme, right? As far as probably love and getting to see your loved ones connection, all those things. But I also think hell is the extreme, right? I think hell is probably torture, pain, burning. I would guess that if you are in hell, you don't look like you anymore. You probably have like, you resemble looking like you, but I'm guessing you have like painful open sores on your body. You're in pain. I mean, I would imagine that hell is not, some nice version of you. And so my guess is, and I started saying this, is I think that Earth, and this is just me now. I was just saying this to Tommy, and he was like, "Could be." I said, "I feel like Earth is life here is a test. It's the test." Yeah, Pat Jonas. And you're going to get a little taste of heaven and you're going to get enough of a taste of hell to make a decision where you want to go. And that's why free will exists, because you are getting that little taste to go, I either want to go in this direction, hey Ann Campbell, or I want to go in the direction of being evil. And whatever you choose is the test. How you live your life is the test. And then when you die, I mean, it truly is like Willy Wonka, that scene with Veruca Salt to me, right? She was a rotten little child and she was mean to all the other kids. And she
she was like throwing a fit saying, I want this now. I want it now. Right. And she went up on the scale, and the scale measures whether you're a good egg or a bad egg for the golden geese. And she went down and it said bad. And Willy Wonka was like, she was a bad egg. That's to me what happens when you die. It's like, it's either going to, hey, Elena Rainerman, it's like you're either going to go down or you're going to go forward. And that was all your choice. That's why we have free will. That's why we can choose to have more of a taste of heaven and move toward that and be closer to God, or it's up to you. You can be hateful and evil and nasty and sinful and betray people and think that you won here, right? A lot of those people are billionaires, or like think that hey Amanda, think that they got life all figured out here in their big homes. And that's why I say this all the time. Nobody gets away with anything. Nobody gets away with anything. I don't ever worry about like haters or people who make it and they're successful, but we all know they're really evil. Hey, Lynn as well. I'm like, they will not get away with it. This is just one life down here. This is just a few decades, right? If we're lucky, of a test. That's it. To see how you treat yourself, animals, children, other people, your parents, right? Like if you believe in God, like I think it's all just a test. It's just not that serious. I think it's a test. And I think the people who go F God and, I worship Satan, that's fine. You are allowed to do that and hurt as many people as you want, but you will go where you belong when you're done. And that's why I really, really lately, this sounds nuts, but with the job I have here on YouTube, I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of people who love to lie about me because they can't find anything to show receipts on, right? There are people who love to go, we're victims of Reese. This is a safe space over here on Reddit because we're victims, right? But they don't ever show the proof of that. They just, if somebody can't get you on things you actually did, they make shit up, right? So that's what they do. And I think about this a lot, and I think I don't really get worked up anymore over people who are only here for a short time and going to hell. Now, it's not up to me who goes to hell and who doesn't, right? Like, it's not my job. But I feel pretty sure of certain people who are like really ugly and they make it their life's mission to be harmful to others. They don't get away with it. So I'm kind of like, I hear friends of mine or Tommy or anyone go, they did this or that person did that or my father did this. And I just think, don't get too upset over people who are going to hell. Like, don't waste a lot of time on people who are going to be in hell forever. It'll happen. Like, we're not here for that long. It's just not that deep. It's not that serious. That's why I say stay in your own lane. Focus on your own life because you don't get that many years to experience it anyway. And if it is a test, why don't you learn? Why don't you be here to learn and experience and enjoy it instead of being miserable and making it your life's mission to be hurtful and harmful to others or your children or any like I don't understand why you would waste this short amount of time that you have to prove whether you're going here or there. Just doesn't seem that worth it to me. Doesn't seem that important. I really would like to go to heaven. If there is a heaven, I'd like to be there. I'd love to see all my. Well, that was the other thing that made me sad, actually. I was talking to Tommy about that. And I said it's true that sometimes people when they're dying, like hospice has said that like they see their loved ones come to get them. And Tommy said, "Yeah, people have said that." And I was like, "I will have no one to come get me. I don't know anyone in heaven. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'd never met my grandpas. My grandmothers were not very nice. I can't think of like any family that would want to come greet me and get me. And I mean, I would hope that maybe Fred would say hello to me, but Tommy was so sweet and he said, my dad would. He said, my dad would come welcome you. I said, that's so sweet. So, uh, oh, Liz. I didn't even know you could do something like that, Liz. That is so cool. That is really kind of neat. Some of you might be creeped out by this, but I'm not. Liz just sent me this and I really like it. That's amazing. I love that. Thank you, Liz. I'm going to blow my nose. Alicia, I love that you're here, babe. I hope you got my text. Yeah, that's really lovely. Thank you, Liz. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. Anyone whose name was not found recorded in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. Anyone whose name was not found recorded in the book. Oh, that's what Tommy told me that they call hell. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Karen. Tommy told me that the lake of fire is also hell, right? That's like what it's referred to in the Bible as a lake of fire. That's frightening. Yeah, I don't thank you, Abigail. Thank you for super chatting that. I don't worry about hell because I don't feel like I'm going there. I mean, I really love God and I really love Jesus. And I don't think that I'm going to be rejected and sent to hell because I didn't read the Bible or because I didn't go to church. And that's the other thing I was thinking about. Hey, Heather Huckleberry, church, like the test here on earth. And guys, this is my own concepts. Can't stay, but you look great. Those expensive hair extensions are kicking. You look great. Thank you, honey. That's very sweet. We're doing a God stream today, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm talking about the conversation that you and I had on the phone the other night. And I remember when you told me the lake of fire is also known as hell in the devil. Reese, do you believe in the concept of karma? Anita Card, I mean, I think I do, only because I don't think anybody gets away with anything. I think we will all have to pay or at least deal with the things that we have done to be hurtful to people and ourselves. So I don't know if that's karma. I'm not against the idea of karma. I just don't know. I don't know who makes you pay for it. I mean, I also believe in the universe, right? Like I also believe in nature and I believe in the Holy Spirit. But I mean, I also speak to the universe. Like I thank the universe. So I'm not sure. I'm not against the idea of karma. I just don't know. But as far as church, I was thinking about this too. Like if life is just a big test, which I would guess that it kind of is. It kind of is. Like I don't think it's meant to be taken that seriously. I don't think that we're here to I think we're here to learn. I think this really is a bit of a schooling process and we're here to learn. And I don't think that God for 1 second thinks you got to go to a church in order for me to accept you for who and what you are. I don't think that's true. I think it's great if people go to church, but here's my issue with church. I think people should go to church if they need that connection, if they feel like they need that guidance. It's the same reason people come here. We come here for connection. Not and some people look at this channel and chat and go, those people are fucking nuts. What a bunch of idiots, right? Some people don't get it. Some people do. I don't think it's wrong either way, right? Like if you go to church, I think it's great. If you don't go to church, I have no doubt in my mind, I don't think God is going to be like, so you didn't go to church. I don't see that. That's to me very man made and it's easy to corrupt. Church, and all the things that, are here on earth is human. It's human. And I don't trust a lot of humans. And I think there's so much corruption that I would rather just have a direct line to God. And I do. And I talk to God all the time. So I don't feel like it's wrong that I don't go to church. I don't think it's wrong that you go to church. I think it's okay either way. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe for a second everyone who goes to church are good people, is what I mean. I think there are people who go to church and beat their wives. I think there are women who go to church and abuse their children. I think there are, the BTK killer was a clergyman in his church. Like, I don't believe for a second church equals good person. That's like a person saying to me, well, I'm a Christian. Well, that's already a red flag. Strike one with you because I don't like that. You don't need to tell me that. I'll figure it out on my own. I don't need you to stand up higher than me on a pedestal and go, well, I'm a Christian. Okay. I'm a Cancer sign. What does that have to do with anything? Like, honestly, I don't like that. It's hypocritical and it feels already a little bit corrupt. Like you're going to be an extremely judgmental person. And I don't like, I try very hard not to judge these days anymore. Don't get me wrong. I still do. But I try very hard to live and let live, stay in my lane and not be so harsh or judgmental about people and choices that they make. Because if you think about it, we snap and jump to judgment on choices that people make. Don't we? But what we don't do is consider the situations that they were in that forced them to make those choices. I think people are quick to judge your decisions, but they are not so quick to take into account the situations that led them to make those decisions. I don't think that all people are bad. I think people make bad choices based on the little amount of breathing room they had at the time, right? I've made horrible decisions in my life, but I was also in survival mode, big time. And I didn't have, in my opinion, I did not have a lot of options to work with. So I chose poorly and I made bad decisions and I treated people badly. And I really believe that happens. And it's weird to me when people jump real quickly to try to just make a snap judgment on something where you did not walk in their shoes. You were not in that situation. So I try to be very, very mindful of that these days. Like I talked about on my stream yesterday with the friends who did what they did, right? Which was, in my opinion, betrayal. And I'm not sure why they made those decisions, but I'm not going to match their energy and be mean and call them out. I can talk about how it hurt me and my experience and the behaviors, but I'm not going to call them out and embarrass them into the world. I'm not going to say their names. I don't want to match and go low and just hurt someone because they hurt me. I would rather talk about what happened and walk through it and the pain that I experienced. And that's what I do here on this channel. I'm not here to hurt anybody. But if you go looking for hate on me, that's what you're going to find. The first thing is like, I'm just out to hurt people, bully people, cause people to want to end their lives. I mean, that's out there. You'll find that is like, I'm the most hateable person. and there's nothing we can do about that. But those people are never going to get away with the lies they've put out there about me, my child. And so while it's hard for me sometimes to go, they got away with it. I really think that the most about the Church of Scientology. I think they got away with it. They get away with it. They are getting away with it. They're hurting kids. They are brainwashing people. They're taking their money. They're tearing up families. They are breaking people's minds for them to believe that they are the problem in society. They are lying and feeding them bullshit around the clock. And I hate that. And then when I become hateful of something like that, I talk to God about it. And I think, yeah, Kim, I think, why is that allowed? But I truly believe things like that. I mean, that's not God's fault. I don't look at things like God's fault. I look at things like people have free will. We were gifted free will. You realize how huge that is? That's freedom. What if we weren't gifted free will? What if we were all put here and placed as slaves to believe a certain way, to only eat a certain thing, to only do like, what if we were all the same? I like that we have even Scientology here because, hey, just want a bird, because I've also been told this concept. You have to have good and bad. There's a balance. There's good and there's evil. And I think evil things like Scientology are okay. Like Scientology, I truly believe those things are infiltrated by evil. Now, is that the devil? Is that Satan? Probably. I don't know. But I think that if, let's say, there is a Satan, which I think there probably is, I think there's like a really deeply evil entity. I don't feel as afraid of Satan as I used to, because in my last couple of God streams, I've discovered I always like, you know how they have like the angel and the devil on cartoons sitting on your shoulder, or Satan, they have like a cartoon of Satan, or they have it in a movie or something. I always thought that Satan was the equivalent of God, just the opposite. So I thought like Satan was just the god of evil. I thought Satan was just like God, but evil. And then we have God. And I learned they're not. And I was like, no way. That blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, Satan is not as powerful as God. And you guys were like, no, I did not know that. I thought they were equal. I thought that was like you have God and you have Satan and they're equal, but like one is good, one is bad. No, he's powerless. He's evil, right? And I really believe that he is surreptitious. I think he's really good at getting you to buy and believe things, right? And infiltrate and get you into Scientology, or make, people become rapists and serial killers. Yeah, I think Satan has everything to do with that. But I don't believe for a second that he's super powerful. Yeah, he's cunning, he's nefarious, he's evil, he's sly. He doesn't have any power over me. Like I laugh at the idea of Satan now. I think you're so mad that I left Scientology and found God. I can feel that. Like I can feel the anger, like I lost another one. He's trying to have an army and I'm not marching to that. So I believe that evil, Satan, whatever you want to call it, I think infiltrates things like Scientology. And I think it also infiltrates things like um, Methodist Church, Baptist Church, Jewish churches, Catholic churches. I have no doubt it's like the police, right? Like I love the police. I'm grateful for our men in blue. I'm grateful for our firefighters. I'm grateful for our doctors, but they're not all good. Some of them are corrupt. Some of them are working with the bad guys. Some of them are working under the radar to steal drugs and rape women, right? Like they're not all good. And that's the same thing with church, right? Like that, even in a church, you're going to have some people that are corrupt and embezzle or hurt people or children, God forbid. It happens. And I think that's where we run into that. So I don't sit here and go, but why would God do this then? And why would God do that? Because God doesn't pull the strings. God says, I hope you choose good. I hope you choose me. That's how I see that, right? Like I see God going, I'm going to put you here. And I really hope that you have a good life and you benefit from it, and you pass the test and you end up here in heaven with me. But you have a choice if you want to swallow that poison and become evil. And so I think we're all born. So, alligator, hey, alligator, that's a great question. Are we born good or bad? My answer to that is, and this is just me, I think we are all born as a loaded weapon. I think that we are loaded. I think the bullet's in the chamber. Whether or not we decide to pull the trigger is up to us. Hey, mushroom. That's how I look at that. So I think that, I don't think serial killers are born. I don't. Right. I mean, Tommy says to me, there are just bad wiring. There's people born with bad wiring. I could see that being true, but more that I lean toward is, hey, Philip, more what I lean toward is, I just think that the gun is loaded, but you could go through your whole life not pulling the trigger, being a good person, choosing. I think you're choosing to be a good person or you're choosing to be a serial killer. It's a choice either way, right? Like being harmful to people is not just like a whoops. Sorry, I just stabbed you in the back. You are fucking choosing to be malicious. You're choosing to be evil, or you're choosing to go be a really good friend. Like those are choices that we make. And I get that like people are abused and things happen to people. I still think you choose to use that abuse to your advantage and pull the trigger and become a psycho, right? Or you use it and harness that energy and go, I'm going to do the right thing here and never and be an advocate for this kind of abuse and never let it happen to other people that I'm around, and you use my voice. I don't know if that made sense, but that's how I feel about that. It's just a choice. It's a test. Abigail says, a false witness will not go unpunished, nor will a liar escape. A liar will be destroyed. I love that. Old Testament. It's just to the point. And I believe it to be true, Abigail. I believe that without even having read that. I believe that. Caroline and Canada, I've never felt closer to God than when I was at church at Christmas and the choir sang, "Oh, Holy Night." I felt my dad's hand on my shoulder. He was gone. I love that. That's beautiful, Caroline in Canada. I absolutely love that. And I think that, thank you for the super chat and sharing that memory. I think that if we were open to those things more, we would experience what Caroline in Canada experienced. I think one of the reasons we don't feel so much whatever is going on the other side, I think the other side is right here. I think there's like, whatever the other world is when we die, I think they're all around us in a lot of ways, but we just choose to go, they're dead, they're gone, right? They're somewhere else. I like to talk about Fred and validate him because I believe that he loves that. I don't think he's too far away from me. I really don't. I think that he has the ability to watch over me and be around. But I think it's harmful and hurtful to be like, Fred's dead. He's gone. He's gone. I don't think that. I don't believe that. And I know a lot of people who are like my dead mother or my dead father. Like I feel them. They watch me. I think that's beautiful. And I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's out of the realm of reality. How can you look at a sunset and not see the beauty God paints? I do that too now, Patty. I have the most beautiful sunsets here in Tennessee, and I go out all the time. Or sunrises, and I'll go, wow, God. Like, that's where I'll say, you are really impressive for me. Like, I just find God to be incredibly impressive. And I think people walk past it all the time like wallpaper because they're too busy on their phones or they're too busy with some minor problem that's a huge problem for them that won't be a big problem a year from now. I think people overreact to shit all the time. And it's like, we're not here for that long. You might want to stop and just possibly enjoy this and be grateful. Be grateful, right? Like, it's a test. I think that You get a little taste sometimes of what heaven is like when you do stop and appreciate a sunset, or you fix a relationship you never thought was going to be fixed. I mean, everybody knows that warm feeling here on earth where you're like, thank God. Have you ever had that relief where you're like, thank you, God? Oh my God, I'm so happy about that. Like, whatever it is, you can all think of whatever it is for you. I think those are our little tastes of heaven. And I think that when we see things like this Lindsay Clancy lady who killed her children, right, which is just over the top, something that I can't compute, or this new serial killer that they just found in Philadelphia, Mary Tyler Moore, thank you. Thank you for being here and welcome. I hope you'll stay. I think that both are a little taste, right? I think that when we see humanity here and it's like demons, you're like, how could someone do that to their children? I can't even live with it. I can't think with the idea. I think that's a little taste of hell. I think that's a little taste of living demons here on earth, reminding us that hell is real and demons and evil are real, right? That's my thought process on that. When you hear something or you see a movie that's like so twisted, or you hear a story in the news about what something that is so evil that you just can't compute, you're like, I can't, like, I can't understand, it doesn't even make any sense to me. I think that's a taste of part of the test here. Like, yeah, they live among us, right? There's evil. If you look for it, you will find it. And that's a little taste. And I think when you experience something amazing, or like the birth of a child, or some kind of a miracle, or whatever it is for you, Caroline in Canada's experience, right? Like, I think that's a little taste to remind us God is real and angels are also among us. Like, there's also the good. And I think, hey, Polly, hey, Thought Criminal, I think that those are the little parts of the test while we're here. It's the little angel and the devil on our shoulders, right? Like in the cartoons. I think that's the little test while we're here, going, reminding us, like, yes, Satan is here. Like, there is a little, there's definite evil here and it's among us, right? Like, we see it. And that's why all of us have to be careful if we go stop at some random rest stop, and be careful because there's trafficking, and we have to watch over our children, because this isn't a safe place. This is the middle place where we all meet for a lifetime to go, are we going to be good or bad? Right? And I think then that's where you do the Veruca Salt thing, and you're either a good egg or you were a bad egg. But it's just a test. And why the fuck would we waste too much time being worried about what everybody else thinks, or God forbid, like, focusing your entire life on a stranger on the internet, hating them? Go for it. I'm not trying to talk people out of hating me, but it seems odd when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture. It's like, you sure that's what you want to, like, are you sure? I have a feeling when people die, I have no idea if this is true, but I feel like when people die, or they're on their deathbeds, but either that or after they die, I have this weird thought of like people being like, fuck, I wasted it. Damn, I focused on the wrong shit. Like, I have a feeling that people are like, I shouldn't have wasted all that time on that. Like, it wasn't that important. Why did I waste years and years of my life? Like, I just have a feeling that there's a lot of people who either feel that way, or they slide into the grave going, woohoo, I did everything I wanted. I got no regrets. Like, I'm sure there's that too. But I feel like there's so many people who probably like either exit the body, or they're getting ready to take their last breath, and they're like, this feels like I wasted some shit. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. I can see that. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. New Testament. That's kind of, yeah. Abigail, you're really good with the scriptures, by the way. You're always spot on with what we're talking about. Thank you for that. I really like the first sentence there. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. I believe that. I think that, thank you for your super chat. Hey, Autistic Margot. I also believe, and this is maybe stupid. This may not be anything. You have to remember, this is all just I'm just a dumbass ex-Scientologist just navigating this. I am not preaching to anyone here. These are all just my stupid childlike curious thoughts where I'm like, what if this? What if that? Like don't put any weight into what I'm saying. I'm not doling out advice. I'm not telling anyone what to do. This is just my own unscripted curiosity on things. And I also believe this because my life has changed since meeting God. And so, what Abigail just said in that scripture, I believe to be true. I have been more blessed now since I entered the era of God being in my life than I ever was before. Now, sure, I was protected, I was always loved, but now, like, I get so much more blessed than I did before, if that makes sense. And I just mean maybe I'm more grateful and open to it and aware of God being in my life. But I mean, when I'm worried about something or if I have to ask God for something, I usually get it. I almost always do. I mean, if I'm like, I'm for hey Dawn, if I'm like, I'm freaking out about this, God, and I don't usually freak out, but I'm having a bit of a panic attack about this and I need you right now. Like I really need your help. Something always breaks loose. Something always happens that like I'm like this and something always goes and I'm like, thank you. I'm blown away. That's why I say to God, hey, Susan Cook, I say to God all the time, you are so impressive to me because when I need you, you're there. And I don't know how God does that. I don't understand. I don't think I think there's some things we're humans. I think we're not all knowing, all powerful, right? We're not of that realm. So I think there's some things. I'm going to take a drink. I think there's some things that we're not meant to understand. And I think about this a lot, but then I give up on it because I'm like, it's just not for me. I don't think I'm supposed to understand. Thank you, Hope. And one of those things is like, how is he omnipotent? I think that's the word. How is God able to be in so many places at once? How is God able to hear me cry out and need him when billions of other beings on this planet are doing the same thing? That's not for me to know, but he does. It doesn't really matter. It's not up to me, right? And I kind of feel like God gives me that message like you don't need to know. Just know that I'm here, right? So but I will say that ever since I started talking to God, believing in God, acknowledging that God is in my life, thanking God, I have seen all kinds of changes in my life for the better. Even when bad, that's why I've said over and over, this is why it should make sense more now. I'm grateful even for all the hate I got in the last year and a half. The big hate campaigns from the FTG guys, from Marilyn, from Susie, from Reddit, all of those people. And I don't think it's a giant number, but it's, it's people making hate, putting out lies about me. I feel like I have been coated in armor, right? Like none of that has penetrated me. None of it has bothered me. And I just asked for God's protection. And I think it's because I'm looking at the bigger picture. Like in the end, none of that matters. None of it matters. And I just think too, I have been praying for the last year and a half for those people because I didn't want to pray for them. When I first started believing in God, I told Liz about all the haters and she was like, pray for them. And I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not praying for people I don't want in my, in my realm. I'm not praying for people. And she was like, well, if you can find yourself being able to pray for them. And I was like, why would I pray for them? What would I pray for? And I said, I can figure this out. Okay. So I started praying for them and I was like, God, here's the best I can do as far as a prayer for my haters. I pray that you're going to do whatever is meant to be done, right? Like it's not up to me. I don't know what to pray for them. So I'm going to pray for God to take care of it however he feels is necessary or best. And Liz was like, that's good. But then she told me about this part in the Bible. Hey, Linda Perales. And she said, you can pray for confusion in the enemy's camp. And I thought that was really interesting. Like, pray for your enemies basically to feel confusion as to why they're so hateful. Maybe they'll snap out of it and go, why am I so hateful? Like, I'm here for what, 5 to hopefully 7 or 8 decades? Like, why am I so hateful? So then I started praying for that. Um, really? Abigail, I'm surprised by that comment. Thank you for sharing it. Exactly, Lady O. And so I started praying that maybe my haters will turn to God, or turn, thank you, Chrissy Twig, or turn to, not even if it's not God, turn to some form of love. Maybe they'll start to love their families more. Maybe they'll find something that they're really passionate about that has nothing to do with hate. And it kind of happened. Like, I was praying for it for a while. And I'm not saying they're good people now. I told you guys that that Goot guy, I was initially very impressed by him. And he sent me an email like saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, and I didn't want to be a bad guy, and I'm glad I'm not a bad guy." And I was like, wow. And then 5 days later, he sent me an email and he was like, "It was all a ruse. You're a piece of shit. Lindsay's a piece of shit. And so's your stupid fucking boyfriend." He was like, "Fuck you. Fuck everybody." And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, that's fine, right? We can't control people, but I still pray for him. And I still hope that, you know, I think it would be great if he just kept making decent content about things that he might be passionate about, right? I don't know. It looks like Marilyn has kind of moved on, and I'm happy for her. I'm glad to hear it. If you notice, I don't trash her. I don't trash people who are not coming after me. I've always said that. I'm not here to make fun of people or be harmful to people who are not directly coming at me on some fucking war path. Abigail, this is really fascinating. I know I haven't spoken a lot about what ultimately drove me away from Aaron. Part of it was he accused you and Tommy of not having faith. I very forcefully said he is not in a position to judge that. Wow. That is a bizarre. Abigail, thank you for saying that as your response to him. This is where you look at someone like Aaron, who has to be in control of everything, who is like really, truly, I would say narcissistic. I really would. That's not his call. You cannot make that call and say, Ann Smith. Thank you, Ann. That's Tampa A then. I love Tampa A. Thank you for being here. That's shocking to me, but I don't know why it's shocking to me. Aaron constantly makes decisions, and he thinks that he knows things that he has no idea about. How would Aaron know that? Aaron hasn't spoken to me or Tommy in years. Like, how would he be able to make that call? And again, he won't get away with it. That's a pretty ugly thing to do. I remember when Marilyn did a stream making fun of me finding God, and her entire chat was laughing and mocking God. Like, "Oh yeah, Reese found God. Oh yeah, sure. Oh wow, she found Jesus." That's not your call, right? As much as you may not believe it, I just don't think it's a good idea to challenge God. Call me fat, say I'm a bad mom, call me a grifter, like hopefully throw all of that at the wall. And I hope it all sticks for you. But I don't think it's a good idea ever to mock God, because what if you're wrong? And what if there is a God? I wouldn't want to stand before that. I wouldn't. So, Aaron saying that we do not have faith is such an ugly thing to say, but it's also just so presumptuous and misguided. Just like everything else Aaron has been incorrect about. He's incorrect, right? I have these streams because I love these streams. I don't do these streams going, yeah, I'm going to get people to believe me and think that I found God. Like, what a stupid thing to do. And I think that I'm genuine enough on here that you would find me very disingenuous if right. I mean, I feel like you guys all have a pretty good gut feeling. You have good intuition. I mean, does anybody come here other than the haters watching? Is anybody here really thinking that I'm just wasting 2 hours of my time lying about my walk or my faith in God? Hey, Bella Beluza. I just think that you would know. I think that your gut would tell you. Bella says, "My faith has been so weak. I really needed this hope and encouragement." That's a really beautiful thing, Bella. And you can't, I mean, you can't force it on someone, right? Like Bella, I was a Scientologist, you know that. Whenever somebody in the outside world, like I remember, I don't know this religion, but in Kansas City is I think where it started, and their main headquarters was there. It was called IHOP. Is it International House of Prayer? I'm not really sure, but that's where it started. And there was a ton of people from the IHOP church that worked at Whole Foods. This was way back, like when Huxley was born. This was a long time ago. And Whole Foods was so convenient. It was like a mile and a half from my house, and I went there all the time. Michael worked there, so I got a killer discount. I got all the stuff to make baby food there. I love Whole Foods and I loved going there. A bunch of the cashiers who worked there were of the IHOP religion. And I'm rolling my eyes because they made me so uncomfortable. They would give me a pamphlet when I would go through their lines, and they'd be like, "Do you know Jesus? Do you know the Lord?" And I was always like, "No, please don't do." Like, it made me so uncomfortable. And even now, that makes me Infinite House of Praise. Okay. It just made me feel so deeply uncomfortable. I think your relationship, and I believe this about politics too, I think your relationship with God is your relationship. And I can talk about it here or not talk about it here. I like to do these random God streams when it's organic, when I want to. But for Aaron or anyone to say like, "Oh yeah, like she doesn't believe in God." That's such a weird thing to say. It's like when Marilyn said that the fax machine incident didn't happen when I was 16. I don't know how people can minimize and decide and speak for others. Literally like speak for them. Hey Drayson, um, again, Aaron has had some deep troubling things occur in his life. As much as I'm not a fan of Aaron, you don't see me going low like that. Same with Marilyn, right? Like a lot of her family died in a fire. That's very horrible and sad. I would never say she deserved it, or I doubt that really happened. Aaron's brother died in a car accident, his twin brother. That's horrible. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing to make fun of about it. And there's honestly nothing to speak to about it because it's not our life. It's not our family. It's not our situation. But that would be like me saying, he didn't even really care about his brother. What a dark, disgusting thing to say. How would I know? How would I know that? How could I speak to that? Right? You wouldn't, unless you hate someone and you got nothing left, right? You hate them so much that you're just going to throw whatever you can to get it to stick. So for Aaron to say, Reese doesn't really have faith in God, you're just making claims now because you hate me so much that you're just throwing whatever you possibly can to get it to stick. And we see that. We see that behavior. We see those patterns, and it's embarrassing. Hey, Aunt Nene Hobbs. And it tells us everything about you than it would about me, right? It tells, when Aaron makes a statement like that, everyone looks at him and goes, ew, that's fucking cringe. No one's thinking differently about me. It's embarrassing for you to make that kind of a statement. And I love this. You're reminding me of how good it feels to have a personal relationship with God. I love that so much, Bella. But it is a journey for you, right? Like I just do this because I'm inspired by what I've learned about God, but I am certainly not here to go, "Bella, do you know the Lord? Come, Bella, come be with us," right? Like, ew, no. I'm not that would be like me saying, "This is who I voted for. You should too." This is why I fucking hate celebrities who use their platform to be like, you should vote for this person. Stick to what you know, which is acting. Okay. Like I like your songs that you sing. I don't need to be told how to vote or think. That would be like saying, I'm Taylor Swift and I believe in Jesus and you should too. Like gross. Thank you. No. So it's that's how I feel about that, Bella. Do what feels right to you. And I'm glad to hear what you're saying. Aaron is definitely a Scientologist. That's probably why he texted it to me where no one else would see it. I'm sure. Hey, JR. Um, Chrissy Twig, I don't know if you're talking to me. I don't know what that means. Abigail says, he will sweep away his enemies in an overwhelming flood. He will pursue his foes into the darkness of night. What's a foe? What are foes? What is a foe? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Thank you, alligator. I'm glad you came. He will sweep away his enemies in an overwhelming flood. Okay, I understand that. Enemy. Oh, okay. Thanks, Abigail. Landon Strauss, I don't know if you're in the wrong chat. I have no idea who you're talking to or what you're talking about. Abigail, that makes way more sense. His foe, he will pursue his foes in the darkness of night. See, I believe that. I'm not afraid of God. And Abigail, thank you for the friend or foe. You're right. I know what it means, thought criminal. Thank you for the super chat, Abigail. And I don't know what I was just. I know what I was going to say. I got thrown off by a text when I first started the stream, and I said I was really pissed and shit was going to go down. That person who is really, really upsetting me just sent me an apology. So I just want you guys to know there will be no. This is for the Reddit people watching. I know they love to watch. Just a side note. This is how funny the Reddit people are and how sad it is. They watch me probably closer than God does. My haters watch me so closely. So I just wanted to announce there will not be any fights. There won't be anything going forward. I'm sorry to tell you there won't be any drama. But so yesterday, I don't know if you guys know who Apostate Alex is. He's such a nice guy. I don't know him very well, but I've never had an issue with him. He seems like a cool dude. I like him from a distance. Don't know much. But I popped into his stream yesterday. He was live. Hey, Donna Folker. And I had a question for him. Thanks, Angie Mo. I had a question for him. And I didn't want to ask him live. It was a private question that I wanted to ask him. So I pop into his chat and I said, hey, Alex, do you have an email? I have a private question I want to ask you. And he goes, yeah, here's my email. And I'm like, cool, thanks. And I wrote to an email. And then I put in his chat, I sent you an email. And then Sierra Terry, I think, was in there. And she said, hey, Reese. And I said, hey, Sierra. That was it. Okay. So I get a screenshot of Reddit. Somebody sends me a screenshot. And literally someone went to Reddit and goes, what's going on with Reese and Alex's chat? What was going on there? What does it mean? And all these people apparently were like, oh no, Reese is trying to collab with Alex. She's scamming him. She's taking his money. She's trying to have sex with apostate Alex. This is what I mean. You guys are insane and you need to get some help. That's sad. They have no life, Tamberjune. That's so sad to me. Like I literally had a question for him that had nothing to do with you. Oh, that's what they said. They were like, I bet you it's about Erin. I bet you it's about her wanting to collab with him. She's probably asking him for money. No, I do that here, remember? So sad. But it was just so wild to me to see that. It's like, I just had a question for the guy. Oh, and they wrote, and get this. They wrote on the post. I know, Joanne Hawley, they wrote on the post, they wrote, and get this. When she came into his chat, only one person said hi to her. Like they love that. Hello, 9-year-olds. One person said hi to me out of what? The 40 people in his chat? So what? They were listening to the conversation going on. It's not like I am Taylor Swift. Not everyone's going to go, oh my God, it's Reese. No one gives a shit, just so you know. No one cares. But all I wanted to do was ask him a question. It had nothing to do with Erin, nothing to do with YouTube, just a question about real life, okay? As a former Scientologist. And it was so funny to me that someone was like, I know you don't like reading this shit, but look at this. And I was like, holy damn. Like, that's crazy that there's literal like eyes everywhere on me, like analyzing everything I say. I literally pop in and go, hey, Alex, do you have an email? I have a question. And there's an entire Reddit post that had like 55 comments on it of people going like, what do you guys think? What do you think? And we're the crazy ones. Got it. Yeah. And we're the psychopaths. I'm the grifter. I'm the scam artist. Okay. Nothing to see here. Anyway, so I just wanted to announce for the Reddit haters. In the beginning of the stream, I was really worked up and it sounded like something bad was going to happen. All is well. So I'm sorry there's not going to be a fight. I don't know why people would be outraged by Reese and Alex talking. Aaron has slandered them both. Yeah, Aaron hates both of us. Everyone loves to go down a rabbit hole that doesn't exist. 100% Tamberjan. It's really fucking sad is what it is. It's like, again, is this how you want to waste your time? That's so sad to me. Amy Knight says, I'll be able to sleep now. Yeah. All is well. Everybody can sleep okay tonight. Rest peacefully tonight. I'm not going to have sex with apostate Alex. I didn't get his bank account information, and it wasn't to trash anyone, and it wasn't to collab with him. Okay. So just want to be clear about that. What a bunch of losers. That's so sad to me. Like true losers. Hey, Joel Sachs. So the other question that I kind of had about the God stuff, alligator, is if there has to be, so like Tommy kind of explained this to me, like, why do we have, I asked him this and he didn't really have an answer other than this answer. If like, yes, Jamie Castro, if, why doesn't God get rid of Satan? Like, why doesn't God get rid of hell? Like, he could, but he doesn't. And Tommy said to me, I don't really know other than there has to be good and there has to be evil. There has to be a balance. There's good and there's bad, right? There's light and there's dark. Okay. I guess there has to be that. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Alex is a really nice guy and people attack him. So that tells you everything you need to know. I mean, I'm kind of questionable and shady, but Alex is a great guy and he gets attacked. Hey, Ms. Weedy Poo. But my question is this: if there has to be good and bad, if there has to be dark and light, is there in the afterlife? I don't think so. From what I've been told by a lot of people, like heaven is a perfect place. Heaven is like all light. Why? Why isn't there a balance in heaven? Like apparently there's no sadness in heaven. There's no loss in heaven. Why isn't there that balance in heaven? Why isn't there that balance when it comes to God? Like, I doubt that God has anything bad happen in his life because he's all good. He's all light. So why is that the case here? Because you have ascended the human condition. Okay, so beautiful dreamer. So my question, that's great. Okay. So you have ascended the human condition. So is the balance of good and bad, dark and light, that's a human experience? I guess that's a better question. Is that a human thing? That's a human experience. So once we have ascended that experience, that's my point. So it's all okay. That actually seals more what I was saying. So life here, human life, us being humans, is just the middle parking place because it's just a test. It's a test. You have a certain amount of years here to learn enough to decide if you're going to go to the light or the dark. That's really it. It's not that fucking deep. You either pick, right? You want to go be a Satanist? Go do it, right? You've got free will, but know that you're going here when you're done. So when you ascend from the test, wow. See, that makes even more sense to me. That solidifies it even more for me oh my God, that's insane. So when you leave here and you ascend, you're either going to where it's all good, all fucking light, or all fucking dark. So it really is a lake of fire. Hell is a lake of fire. It's like fucking evil and it's just a bunch of people running around asking for the manager all day. Like it's just a bunch of fucking it's just a shit ton of Reddit people. Like hell is Reddit probably. They're just like, "We saw you doing this," right? So here, that's why I say it's a test. And when you have something really amazing happen to you here and you feel God in your life, that's when it's a little taste of heaven, of the all good, right? And then when we see this Lindsay Clancy thing or like the really bad stuff here, that's where you get a taste of hell. And that's why here you get to see both things, right? You get to see the really, really, really good. You get to see the really bad here on earth and make your decision and go, I'm either going to walk with that or I'm going to walk with that. But you get to taste the light and the dark. I love this. So you get to see and choose for yourself. That's why God gives us free will. But when the test is over, you're either going to all good or all bad. There is no more. Hey, E. Garrett, there is no more. That makes total sense. So God is all good. God is all light, right? So if you go with God, this makes so much fucking sense to me right now that I'm having a hard time using words. And the concept is coming in so fast that I'm like, I don't know how to put words with this. If you go with God, who is all light and all good, hey, Rome, let's say you don't, and you do go to hell. That makes so much sense to me now. That makes so much sense to me. This is why I'm so, thank you, Lord, for taking me out of Scientology and meeting me, bringing me to you. Because so this is like, I was told all of this is bullshit. So to me, this is even more mind blowing, right? Like, and I'm figuring this out in real time. So if you go to hell, the concept of hell, I've been told by a couple people now, is just simply separation from God. Total separation from God. You are cut off from God, right? You cannot call out to God. You cannot see God. God's not going to help you in any way. Here we can do that. When you go to hell, that's pure dark. You're in the dark. You are no longer going to be in any light. So here it's a mixture of light and dark. You've got shade and you've got sunshine. When it's over, when this test is done, and this is why it's like put shit into perspective right now. This is why I don't get upset about my haters. Don't get mad about people who are going to hell. Police sirens. That's unusual. I never hear police sirens living out here. In 2 years I've lived here, I've probably heard them 3 times. Do you hear them? That's like living in the city. You sure as shit don't miss that, man. In Kansas City, that was every 10 minutes. Here, I think I've heard it twice. Punky, wow, you hear it too? What the hell is going on with that hair, girl? Wow, what kind of hair is that? What's happening here? What's with the dew? Wow. Can we see? Are you all right? No, I don't need to, Dawn. They were going that way, down that road. My parents are that way. A cow broke loose. What's happening with the hair? I'm confused. I don't understand. What's going on, Mop Top? Ooh, you're little though. Wow. Speaking of the Lord. So it makes total sense. Guys, come back to me. Oh, I know, Holly. It's so good. I donated my hair for your extensions. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate everybody who gave me all of their hair because Reddit says that this is extensions and none of it's real. So thank you so much for donating your hair. So kids, stay with me now. If hell is total separation from God, that makes wowie girl, that makes all the more sense in the world. Why here we get a taste of each. You get to pick. You can pick here how you want to be and where you want to end up. That's why, wow.
There's a lot of scuttlebutt. Oh, it's an ambulance. That's sad. Damn, that'll be the most action in this town that they've seen in years. Um, that's why it makes so much more sense to me. Why wouldn't you at least take a look at this and consider it? Because it makes sense. Like Scientology would say weird shit, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But okay, I'll believe it. This makes sense to me. If hell is total separation from God and you can't have a connection to God or anybody else, what would that also be? It's all dark. There's no connection to anything. There's no light. You can't reach out. There's no comfort. You can't call out. Fuck the fiery lake. Fuck the people with horns walking around and the walls of fire and shit. I would be more concerned about the fact that you can't have any connection there's no comfort. You're never in comfort, right? Like it's like you're constantly rotting inside. That kind of is Scientological, but makes total sense why heaven would be all light. Heaven would be love and light and warmth, right? And comfort. It makes total sense to me that hell would be no capability in speaking out to God. Boy, oh boy, what a choice to make, huh? I mean, I've made my choice. I know exactly where I stand. I'll never change my mind on it. But that is some fascinating stuff there. I tell you this, says Abigail, you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak. The words you say will either acquit you or condemn you. Acquit. I'm not entirely sure that I have the full definition of that word, acquit. Is that like acquit? I'm trying to, isn't that like a legal term? Like, hey Buff, isn't that like a legal term where you like an acquittal? Where isn't an acquittal mean like where it's like basically dismissed? Find you innocent, forgiven. Acquit. Okay. Not guilty. Okay. That's cool. Thank you. Set free. Perfect. Okay. So let me read this again. Hey, Carrie. I tell you this, you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak. The words you say will either acquit. Oh. So some words are going to acquit you. Okay. That makes total sense. That's like friend or foe. It's two opposite things. Okay. I get it now. Abigail, thank you for super chatting. That's really nice of you, Abigail. Thank you. Dang, guys, I love these streams because I always get something really like I really get something out of this. And that to me, it just bridges gaps for me. It just puts puzzle pieces together. That's some crazy shit. The reason it's more crazy, I think, to me than you, and I just feel like I have to explain myself here, is it's wild, right? Oh my God, Liz. Look at this, you guys. Wow, do you recognize this? That's your brother. Oh. Okay. When she actually dies one day, I'm going to be really sad and I'm going to look to that picture. Look at that. Who doesn't want that picture? Oh, I love that so much, Liz. Thank you, Liz. That's beautiful. I just sent it to Tommy. Thank you, Liz. That's so comforting. So it makes sense. Speaking of the word comfort, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. It's just once I feel like you have those little pieces of the puzzle, once we have those little bits of the game figured out. Now I'm not saying I'm right, but I feel right. Thank you so much, Buff. And I love you, girl. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Kimberly Hallman. Once I feel like you can kind of, again, zoom out and see the bigger picture, it's not scary anymore. Like the hate doesn't get to you. The darkness doesn't hurt you because it's all, I love that, Patty. Thank you, Tennessee girl. It's one big test. We are simply being tested. And so when we do see horrible things in the news, like, hey, Linda, like, what people do to kids, right? The most innocent creatures on earth, what people do to their spouses and horrible crimes, right?
it's not scary anymore because it's like, yes, I expect these things. This is a test. Life is a test here on earth. That's how I'm going to look at it now. It's like you're either going to choose the light or the dark. That's probably what goes back to being Christian to me, is being Christ like. Well, if that's the case, right? And if you believe in that, Christ was all light. Christ is God on earth, right? So Christ had arms, legs, and was a man and was God here on earth. Hey, P. Taylor. And so that's even easier to understand for me. So Christ like would be, right? We're not going to be God on earth. We are not gods. We do make mistakes and sin. But if we are more like him, we're just choosing light. That's it. You're just choosing the light. You're choosing love and light. You know when you're fucking around. You know when you walk with darkness. You know when shit ain't right, right? And you won't ever get away with it. You won't get away with it. And you know when it's wrong. You know when you're doing something wrong. And I called my shit out every time when I was being a hater and like making fun of Marilyn and cackling at her and fighting back and throwing shots. I said every time, "Hey, butterfly." I said every time, I feel, what did I say? I feel further from God when I behave that way. It takes me further from God. Now I see why I said that, right? Because when you are choosing a darker path, when you make those choices, they're yours to make. You pulled the fucking trigger. You can't blame other people. That's why I was saying yesterday, I get pissed when people choose darkness and go, "Sorry, my mom died. Sorry, I hate my boss." No, you pulled that trigger. You chose to be mean. You chose to betray people. You chose to be dark. Own it. We've all done it, but fucking own it, right? My God. Still sirens. I bet that's every cop in town. Hey, Stanley. So Tommy loves it. So all you're doing, do you remember when Tommy used to say on the boat? I used to love it. He doesn't really say it anymore. He used to say, "Hey, Lens." Tommy used to say, you're either moving closer to love or you're moving closer to hate. Like it's just not that hard to figure out. So I think, Lindsay, don't ever text me that. Don't worry about that. I just think that it's so simple now. If you really think about it, in your daily life, like me after today, moving forward, here's something I've been doing lately, and I forgot to tell you this on yesterday's stream. I got stabbed in the back recently by someone, a friend. And I just started clarifying for myself way more simply, instead of digging and going, "But why did they say this then? Now they said that, but that doesn't make any sense." No, I'm done with trying to dissect it. You know what I say to myself now? I go, "That's not a friend." It's pretty simple. We can sit here and fuck around and talk about it all day and like, you know, uh, put pieces together and go, "But she said this, but then she did this." But no, 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 no. That's not a friend. Simple. Pretty wrapped up. Put a fucking bow on it. That's not a friend. Friends don't do that. Pretty simple, right? Like there really isn't any figuring it out. That's not a friend. Done. Done. Now you decide if you want to stay in that person's life, but like that's not a friend. So if you want to chase the snake and go back to the snake, do it over and over and over until you learn better. But just know that like that's, you pulled the trigger. That's your choice. But it's not a friend. They showed you who they are. They showed you they're a snake. If you choose to go live with that snake, just know what you're moving in with, right? Like they're only going to become worse because snakes shed their skin to become bigger snakes. Okay. So that's how I feel about life now. It's really quite black and white. You either choose to walk with light or dark, and there's no confusing the two, right? I love people who are like, no, I didn't mean it like that when they do something horrible. It's like, oh, you didn't mean to be evil? Crazy. So weird that you didn't know that that was super hurtful and would hurt or damage a lot of people. Wow. Like, I'm over it. You either choose to be more, put out the light, or you're going to be fucking dark. You're going to walk with old Lucifer, right? Like, either way, I need to make a decision as to whether or not I want to walk forward with you. I don't want to be around people who are the darkness. There's so many of them. This really is. Liz said to me once we're in a, what is it? There's like a spiritual war going on. I believe that because I think we see it here on earth. There's also a war going on here with humans, and who knows if they're human or not. But like, I feel like there's demons here, right? Like, or they're possessed, right? How do you kill your fucking children? Hey, Linda, I don't know much about this Lindsay Clancy thing or whatever her name is, but I know enough, and I can't do this kind of content. I know Lindsay can, and I know that Tommy does it. I can't do it, and bless them for doing it. But it's so dark that it hardens me. It makes me freeze up inside. It's triggering for me. How do you kill your children? I mean, it's really simple. I don't think that there's a whole bunch of like, well, you have to factor in this, and she was on these drugs, and well, no, nope, mm-mm, nope. It's pure evil. It's pure hell. That's the taste of hell here on earth. That's hell. That's how. How do you kill your children? Well, that's what hell is like. You just get to see. We're placed here as a test to see a little bit of heaven and a little bit of hell, and you can pick which path you want to take. And that is demon possessed shit right there. And they do walk among us. And I believe that when you see miracles and, horrible car accidents and people walk away without a scratch, they're among us. There are also angels here. I believe that God is here also, right? Trying to protect people. But I believe that there's also pure evil here on earth trying to harm people. Hey, Eric, it's quite simple. Hey, Monk. It's just not that hard for me to figure out. It's pure evil. It's just completely demonic, Allison. There's no other way of looking at it, right? You can say all day long, like, well, her doctor prescribed this and she was influenced by her husband. Okay, sure, 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 sure. It's evil. It's fucking evil. There's no other, it's pure dark. It's pure evil. So I just think that makes me see things more clearly to either be with that or against that, like make better choices. That's why boundaries are so important. Hey, Bitsy, and I know that sounds silly to say, but in our everyday life, boundaries are important because they provide clarity as to which path you walk, right? If you see something really bad happen and you go, I'm not going to say anything. It's not my business. I'm staying out of it. That's evil. I mean, if it's really bad, that's fucking evil. If you didn't try to help or do something and you witnessed it and you do nothing, that's evil. Right? I don't want to be around that shit. If you do something, if you're a really good person and that's what I can see about you, and you don't hurt your fellow friends, or you don't wish harm on people, and you don't band together to hate people, then I'll be your friend. Like, it's pretty clear and simple for me now. It's like you either reach for the light or you go for the dark. And one day when you're fucking dead and you wasted all that time being a bad person, you are going to see, you saw a little glimpse of the dark here on earth. You're going to go live in that forever. That's what I believe now. Like, that's why I believe that you do face God and God goes, unfortunately, or God says, welcome in, right? Like, here's the light. We're having a light party for eternity. You're welcome on in, right? And I believe that that's probably where a lot of our loved ones are if they're there. But it's simple. This is a test here. And that's where God goes either welcome in or see you later, see you never. It's based on everything we do here. It's a test. This is a test. I believe that 100%. I don't want to I feel like I've done all the damage I want to do in my life. I feel like I've learned, I did drugs, I injured my body. I put myself in really dangerous situations. I betrayed my friends in the past. I've been harmful to people. I've witnessed things that I should not have seen or been around. So I've seen both. We've all seen the light and the dark. All I'm really interested now is the light. And I don't care how many people take to the internet to say I'm dark and evil and grifty and I'm bad to my child and I'm really not who I say I am. It doesn't matter because they don't decide where I'm going. And I just want to be in the light as much as possible. I want to stay where the light is as much as possible. Joanne, hey Reese, when I die, I'll be there to greet you with open arms when you come home to God's house. I really love you, Joanne Holly, and I'm going to miss you. She's going on vacation, I think tomorrow to be with her children, and I'm excited for her, but I'm going to miss her. I love that woman so much. Joanne, you did not have to super chat that, but thank you for the super chat, and I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing your tiny 4'11" self in heaven. Thank you, Patty. Hey, Abigail again. This is about hell. Okay. In his justice, he'll pay back those who persecute you. They'll be punished with eternal destruction, forever separated from the Lord and his glorious power. Wow. New Testament. I was going to ask you, Abigail, and thank you for the super chat. Does the Bible talk about hell much? Like, is there much of a description? I know that Tommy said about this Dante's Inferno thing, this book talks about like, and I don't know how much truth there is to that. Like, how would that guy know? But that there's like layers to hell or like different pockets or whatever they called, like the circle. Like there's a circle. Hey, Ann Battles, there's a circle. He said for like people who harm children, which makes sense that there would be like different layers of hell. Like people who harm animals to me or children are the most evil, right? Obviously, because what are animals and children? They are the most innocent creatures, beings here on earth. How in the world? Who the fuck are you? I mean, I'm sorry, but like, what kind of a demon are you to look at a child or an animal and think anything other than love and innocence? What kind? It's not hard to do. Okay. You're an evil piece of shit if you look at an animal or a child and think, I want to hurt that. I want to cause pain to that. I want to cause harm to that. I will hate you forever if you're that kind of a person. I really, really, really I think a lot of us do, right? Most of us are that way. I don't know what kind of a person would ever, ever, ever want to harm something, especially that's innocent. And animals, in my book, are totally innocent, and so are children. So I really, really hate that. Thank you, Joanne. And thank you, Abigail. Butterfly, dang, that's a huge super chat. When you first came out of the cult, you said you didn't want anything to do with any religion. Yes, I did. I was very clear about it, actually. I felt sorrow in my heart because you were going to miss out on God and all the good that comes with it. So happy you opened to him, my heart to him. That is a beautiful thing to say, and it's worth bringing up. And I'm glad you did. Thank you for the giant super chat. But more importantly, that if you go back, which I haven't, I've never watched any of my old streams, but I know how I felt. So I don't really need to go back. I was like, I think I even made it clear that like, I will never read the Bible. I'm never going to believe in God. Like, I'm never going to I just remember feeling that way. Like, no, I'm not interested in God. I'm not interested in jumping out of a frying pan into another fire. And it is amazing, butterfly. Like, that's to me a miracle. That's a miracle that I have completely changed that, right? Thank you for the giant super chat. That was so kind of you. I have completely changed that, right? I You could not beat it out of me. You couldn't torture it out of me. I am not on the fence about God or his son, Christ, right? Like, I know. I just know. You know how you know how do you know you love your spouse, or how do you know when you're in love? You just know. I can't explain it. I just know. I do. I really, really, really know. It's a very strong, overwhelming, powerful feeling, right? You could never take that feeling away. It's the same thing. I know within every inch of me, within all of my thoughts, that God has always been with me, that Jesus saved me, and I haven't read the Bible, but I'm overwhelmed even by saying that. How grateful I am, and just how thankful I feel that I feel like he chose me to find him, right? Some people walk through life and never find God. And I believe a lot of these ex Scientologists never will. They don't have any interest in it. You think Aaron is going to find God? I hope he does. But my guess would be no, no. He doesn't even believe in therapy, right? He doesn't believe in self help. Like, there's no way he's going to believe in a bigger power that would help and love him and guide him. And that makes me sad. But it's also not, I also don't believe it's my job to get people to believe in God. That's kind of a cringy thing to do, right? Like, forcing that on someone, it would never work. When the student is ready, God appears. And I'm just so grateful, and I feel like such a different person since God introduced himself to me. I feel chosen. I feel like God was like, I think God was just as excited as I was when that all happened that day. And he said, like, I knew you, you were never allowed to know me. I was so overwhelmed, and I immediately fell in love. I was like, oh my God, like, you're my best friend. It was like an immediate connection. It was immediate, overwhelming feeling of love, protection, support, warmth, right? And I'll never unfeel that. I'll never unknow that. You could never take that away from me. I am so sure of God and Jesus. And that is such a beautiful feeling. You have no idea, for someone who came from a cult of dark. It was all dark. It was like, maybe Tamberjune, it was like, I felt like a piece of veal. We have this much room to move within Scientology, and you can't look there. And if you see any light, you're not allowed to look at that. It was all dark. Scientology literally steals all of that originality, that feeling of that reach for God. I was reaching for God at the age of 6, but I was smacked the fuck down for it. Not in this house, right? What else wasn't allowed in my house? No HE&R. Human emotion and reaction was the biggest sentence called out in my home, in my upbringing, right? I've never been baptized. No. My father used to scream all the time if I showed any kind of excitement as a child, if I showed any kind of crying or sadness or sorrow, no HE&R in this house. He'd lean down and get in my face, right? And go, no HE&R in this house. And then he would say, God damn it. My dad said, God damn it, all the time. I don't say it anymore. Scientologists say it all the time. I don't say it anymore. There's no way I could say it. I mean, sometimes I will lose control and go, God in heaven. Like, I'll do something like that. But I find it so disrespectful now to do that. Even one of my favorite things of my whole life that I said as a Scientologist, I'd go, Jesus Christ. I don't do it anymore. I don't say it anymore. Now that I know and love God so much, and know and love his son so much, I would never want to say that in a moment of anger, right? What Jamie Castro, can you reword your question? I don't know what you mean. I mean, I could get baptized. Yeah, I would consider it. Liz Tricks, I will be standing right next to Joanne and Fred welcoming you home. Girls, please don't. I mean, I love you and I love that and I hope you are there, but let's not worry about that too soon, okay? Please don't do that to me. I need you here for a long, long time. Thank you for the super chat, Liz and Joanne and Butterfly and all of you. I appreciate it and I need it. I appreciate it. I'm a single mom. It's very kind of you and you don't have to do it. So I just want to say thank you, but no one's dying anytime soon. I'm going to blow my nose. Thank you, Liz. So the thing that releases so much pressure when I do these streams is it helps me to look at the bigger picture. And that helps me to stay positive and find the positive in the things that aren't even good, like being grateful and saying thank you to God, right? Like, thank you, God. I thank God every single day for my channel, for all of you, for where I live, for being able to support myself and my son and 5 freeloading animals and all the good things that happen to me, but also the bad things, because I think that, again, this is a test. So we have to have the light and the dark. So, like, the good and the bad, we have to experience the bad too. And I think that's part of the test. How do we accept the bad things? How do we deal with the bad things? You know, do we blame God? Do we get mad at God and go, God, why would you allow that? No. I mean, you can. I don't. I think too, when really bad things happen, and I've got a couple of really bad things going on right now. Okay. But I just think it's a test, right? It's never going to be permanent. Punky Buffy wants to see you and she paid $2 for it. You don't mind, do you? Sorry. Sorry to startle you. Does the Bible say we will know everyone in heaven, Holly? I don't know. Yeah, Linda, I'm just grateful for it all, the good and the bad. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be breathing, right? I'm thankful to be tested. This is a test. I'm not trying to be cheesy, but like, this is a test. And God knows that. God gives it to me. God is the one testing me, right? He's the one who's going, I'm going to plop this problem down right in front of you. You're going to either choose the light or the dark in how you handle it. You're either going to be grateful for it or you're going to stomp your feet and act like a child and curse God. I don't do that because I look at it very differently now. And yes, Lady O, and I also think this a lot too. And I say this to God a lot. I chat with God a lot. And I say, you know, I'm glad I found you last year when I was 41. And I'm glad that I wasn't raised with God. As crazy as that sounds, because I wish I had been. Like, it would have been nice to know God when I was a child. But in a lot of ways, meeting God now and learning about God now brings me, it's such a deeper love and passion and gratefulness for God. I don't ever take God for granted because I just met him. There are people who have known God their whole lives and kind of walk past him like wallpaper, right? And kind of like they know he's there, but you know, they were raised in that. I'm glad and grateful that I just met God. Yeah, I appreciate him, the holy mini wheat. Patty, I appreciate God and Jesus so much more. And I talk to God. Hey, Anne, I talk to God and I'm more grateful for God, I think, because it's all brand new. And I'll never take God for granted. Never. I mean, I just know that the reason I have air in my lungs right now and food on the table and a son that I'm grateful for and my animals, all of those things are because of God. Those are blessings. I'll take it. And I'll make sure that God knows that I know I'm grateful for that. And he put it there. Thank you, Anne, for saying that. I know Tommy jokes about Gertie's breath, but we know it smells like frankincense and mirth. I don't think it smells bad at all. Holly's in the chat. She smelled it. Liz smelled it. Oh, I think it smells incredible. Same as your footy paws. They smell gorgeous. Did you know? Oh,
Did you know that you were really tiny and blessed by the Lord, girl? Oh, really beautiful. Really gorgeous. I was crying going to sleep last night because I was looking at old pictures of Gertie from like 5 years ago. And she's like 13 now, and her cataracts are insane. And I was bawling, and I started to just really get upset. And I started thinking about how I'm not going to have her much longer. I mean, maybe another 5 years if I'm lucky, but it's not, the window's closing, right? She's not a puppy anymore. She's old and she's youthful and she still walks every day and she does great. She doesn't have any health problems, but it's not going to be much longer in the grand scheme of things. And I just started talking to her about it. And I was like, I hate it. I love, you guys know how much I love my animals. And I'm really, 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 really connected to her. And I was with my Chihuahua too. It's nothing new. That's why I say when you guys come in here and say, my dog just died, or I said goodbye to my cat this morning, I always say what? It never gets easier. It's hard every time we do it. And it is. And I just think, yeah, same thought criminal. I just think I have to look at it differently. Like they're not here forever. They're also put here as a test, right? Like animals, I think, are also here to teach us things. They're here to, she taught me so much about myself and love and life. I will always have so many memories with her. We are very connected. I love her so much. It doesn't mean when she's gone, I won't. I'll love her forever. But I always cherish and I appreciate and I'm always grateful for the time I have with her because I won't always have it. And so I was saying that last night to God as I was laying there crying. I was like, I'm grateful that you've let her be here for this long and nothing bad has ever happened to her. I worry about that all the time. And I just said I know that I'll see her again one day. I know that she's not going to be gone. She'll be up there with everybody in heaven. I believe that animals go to heaven. And so I just hate that I have to be without her. I don't want to be without her. I mean, I don't want to be without anybody, right? But that's just how it works. And I think it's part of the test. But I do hate it. And I was looking at her last night and I was snuggling up next to her on my pillow. And I was like, just really appreciating her and really cherishing her and the time I have with her because one day I won't be able to do that. But I also know that Punky will be welcomed in by the Lord, and Punky will sit there and wait. And she says, my mom will be here at some point. Sounds like Joanne, Holly, and Liz Trix will be here first, and I guess they can hold me while I'm waiting. Hey, Molly Moon. So I like this stream a lot. Please hit subscribe while you are in here. Hey, Wendy Brewer. And just, I hope that I made sense. I really, that's a lot of sass. That's a lot of extra for such a little tiny person. I mean, you really are fucking tiny too. Like that's a lot for a damn frosted mini wheat with eyeballs, but we'll take it. I want to say something about this stream really put me at ease. Like even when really bad shit happens to all of us, like it's a test. That's how I see it's a test. Thank you, Ghost Rider. And you have a choice. You have a gun. You can pull the trigger or not. You can cause harm. You can cause good. You can be a part of helping people or you can be a part of hurting people. It's really that simple. And that's why when I learned about what my friend did to me the other day, I was like, why am I wasting time reading every sentence that she wrote to me, trying to, break it down in my head of like, I didn't mean this, but you did that. Like you did damage and now you're trying to back out of it and go, I didn't mean it. Simple. Thank you, Debbie Beck. It's simple. That's not a friend. That's not a friend. It's not a friend I want. I don't want friends I can't trust. I don't want friends that are going to have loose lips, right? Like it's simple. When you really look at shit, it's simple. And that's how I feel about a lot of the things that are dropped into our lap, whether it be with our parents, our jobs, bad news. It's like, okay,
Nobody said it was going to be easy. And I feel like every time something bad happens now that I got to figure out, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't need this, right? I just imagine now God handing me a Rubik's Cube going, part of the test, girl, figure that shit out. I know you can. Need you to do it, right? Nobody said it was going to be, this isn't heaven and this isn't hell. This is a little taste of both. And you need to figure it out. You got to figure out the Rubik's Cube. You're going to have problems. There's going to be illness and weakness and dark and evil and all of those things. And we got to wade through it. So that's kind of how I look at it now. It's quite simple. Like you're either, I just think you're going to get some Rubik's Cubes and you're going to have to figure that shit out. Yeah, it's school. This is school. And I also believe that that's why a lot of us repeat the same problems. That's why a lot of us pick the same bad spouse, right? That's why a lot of us continue to do drugs or have addictions, right? We know it's bad for us, but we still do it because you're not done learning. You're going to keep getting the same problem until you learn, right? Like you're going to keep getting the same shit handed to you until you go, I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I learned from that this time, right? Yeah, without the bad, you can't. Well, Liz, without the bad, you can't appreciate the good, but also you can't learn. If it's all good, where the bad is what teaches us. That's why I say, haters, attention haters, keep it up because it helps me. Weirdly, you guys are a test too, and it helps me. It helps show me, do I want to match this energy? Do I want to sink down and be a bad person? Or do I want to learn from this? And it makes it easier to make decisions, right? People who are toxic in my life, I'm like, I think I'm just done, right? I'm not going to hate on you. I'm not going to like trash you. I'm not going to do anything to try to hurt you. I'm just done. It's dark and I don't choose the darkness. I don't want to waste my time on manipulative people, people who want to cause me harm, people who want to question me in my life, and people who want to go, I don't think I like Tommy, but I like you. Well, I don't have any use for you. I'm done. I don't need that. I just don't need it. Like it's a test and I choose to check that box of like, I'm not into it. I have a choice there. I choose not to. Abigail, closing. God is light and there's no darkness in him at all. Ooh, I love that. If we're living in the light as God's in the light, then we have fellowship with each other. And the blood of Jesus, his son, cleanses us from all sin. Ooh, I love that. Thank you so much. New Testament, Abigail. Abigail, you were so kind tonight. Thank you for the beautiful scriptures. Thank you for the super chats. I really, really appreciate it. And Monk says that's kind of how it works, Reese. Well, here's the thing, Monk. I bet you had that figured out. I bet a lot of you did. But unfortunately, a lot of my streams are exactly what today was, which is you guys hold my hand through shit and walk me through it and go, yeah, we all learned this when we were 10. But Reese is 42, and sadly, she's just now learning. I'm literally just now learning shit that people will go, yeah, we learned that at 16. I just had a different upbringing, and I love Monk that that's how it works. Okay, Patty, I love that that's how it works. But I'm just now figuring that out. And it is one of those things when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I might have been told this shit in the past, right? I might have been told life lessons and all of that, but it went in one ear and out the other. I wasn't ready to hear it. I wasn't ready to absorb it. I wasn't ready to learn it. Monk, I appreciate that. He says, and a lot of people never get it. Do you know the reasons that a lot of people that are Christians learn new things about the Bible and God every day? No. Abigail, I love God streams on these. I give myself permission to just let loose. I'll be back to normal tomorrow or the next stream. Thank you, Abigail. And I feel really good that you're not buying pizza and donuts every week. Like, I love that you're saving money. Fred's going to be there waiting to grab. Yes, I really hope for that. I mean, I hope everybody's there, right? Like, I hope one day Tommy is there with me and just all the people I love. And I have no doubt that that will happen. But it's your choice whether or not you're going to be there. Yeah, I just want to find the answers to things, Amber June. And
It just makes it more clear for me in life situations. This stream helped me to calibrate. Kind of a weird word to use, but I feel more calibrated, if that's the right word. Like, feel a little more straightened out because I'm having some real issues with certain things. And I think that it just comes down to this is a test. Keep that in mind. This is a test. And the choice you make, your answers, right? It's like a test. You put your answers. Your answers will reflect when you meet God. Keep that in mind, right? And if you don't believe in God and you want to mock God, that's fine too. That is your choice. But you know, good luck, Veruca Salt. Taking a real gamble there. Yeah, Patty, I feel a little bit more centered about my life, where it's going, choices, when bad things happen, all of that. It's like, okay, right? I mean, it's darkness and I got to find the light through this. So I do the Rubik's cube to try to find the light. I just hope I made sense today. I think I kind of, some streams I'm like, I don't think I was clear. I was clear in my own head, but I don't feel like I made sense when it came out of my mouth. And that's a real problem for me. Like I have the concept, I have it all in my head just right, but I'm like, "Bleh," and it doesn't come out right. I don't have the proper words. I do that a lot. It's like I have it all up here, but I can't compute. I can't put it out. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. This may be unpopular, and I hope no one thinks I'm getting pulled back in, but I pray for Aaron. He's on a path of self destruction, which I never want. I don't think that's bad at all. I think we should pray for Aaron. I hope that one day Aaron actually, yeah, Stanley, I hope Aaron actually becomes a better person. Anybody can, unless you killed your children or you did something really horrible. I don't know that there's a lot of redeeming qualities in people like that. But I think Aaron could make, Aaron is in charge of Aaron. No one's running him. He is walking around as a loaded weapon, pulling the trigger, right? It's not like we can blame it on, like, well, he was raised in a cult. No. Aaron is making daily active, choices in life to be destructive. I hope he changes too, Abigail, but that will be up to him. That because he has free will. Where did I get my cross necklace? Liz Trix bought it for me, but it's from Southern Goods. It's from the store where I have a booth where I've streamed at. I love this necklace. Thank you again, Liz. Most of us are walking right alongside of you, Reese, with our own questions and interests in God, Jesus, the Bible, all of it. I love that, Lady O. I love people who don't pretend to know it all. I love people who also want to learn with me. And like you just said, like walk beside me and hold my hand through it and go, wow, I learned something new. I love people who are not right fighters, who just have it all figured out. None of us do. And none of us ever will. No one's going to close their eyes for the last time having it all figured out. That's not the point. This is a test. That's it. And then it decides where you're going to go. Reese, also, how would anyone know good if you didn't see the bad things? And exactly. Only God knows who he forgives. I love that. Guys, this was a great stream. I feel so much better. I've got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Some of it I've talked to you about. I mean, the betrayal recently that happened to me really threw me off, threw me for a loop. I didn't expect it, and it hurt, and it still hurts. It's a wound. It's not closed. And so there's that, but I've got some other things going on that I've told you for a while now that's been going on. You don't know what it is, but it's heavy and it's on my mind all the time, and I can't get a solution to it. And I got to figure it out. It's a Rubik's Cube. Thank you, Buffy. But I will, and I feel a little bit more inspired about this. I just think too, like I say this a lot, God is writing all of our stories. Stop fighting him to take the pen away. I say that to myself a lot throughout the day. I get pissed off and I start like fighting against something that I know I'm not going to win. I'm like, let it happen. God's writing. He's writing. He's still writing. Stop fighting him for the pen. Don't take it away from him. And I love that what that little girl said in that reel. If it's God's, oh man, I don't know now. It was so good. If it works out, that's God. That was it. If it works out, that's God's direction. If it doesn't work out for you, that's God's protection. And I love that too.
We have things where it's like, why didn't that work out? Because he's writing the story and there's some protection to that you're not seeing that he is seeing. I promise. Like, same thing when if something works out, that's God's direction. Go with it. But if it doesn't work out, that's God's protection. I really believe that. It's just simple. You glow when you talk about your personal relationship with God. Thank you, Bella. I really hope this helped you, Bella. I hope it did. It helped me. It answered a lot of questions for me and just gave me some closure on some things and just clarity. That's what I pray for every single day. My biggest prayer to God is always, always, always help me get clarity through the illusions. Please just help me see through, because there's so many illusions here on planet Earth. There's so many things that are too good to be true, right? Or like bullshit people that actually are the scammers of the world, or people who are smiling while they hold a knife behind your back, being your friend. All of those things, I'm like, please, God, just help me to see clarity through the bullshit illusions of the earth, right? Like, help me with this test to make things more clear so that I can walk my own path. So that happened today. So thank you for saying that. I feel more clear. I feel like this, Bella, I'm so glad. I feel like this helped clear things up for me, for sure. And so that's my prayer. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for the prayer being answered. It helps me every day when it's like the fog lifts and I'm like, I see it. I see it. I get it. It makes sense. Like, I connect the dots and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. That's God's direction. It's clear now. The fog has lifted. Thank you. Thank you, oh Lord. All right. Another good God stream in the books, guys. I don't know when we'll do the next one. They just happen when they happen. When I'm ready to do one is when it happens. So it'll probably be in the next 6 weeks or so. I feel like we do one every couple of months. And I love these streams, but they're not for everyone. And I just don't want people to think like, I'm pushing God on them, or who's that? Kiad? Or it's some Christian channel, right? Like, I don't want people to think like you're not welcome here because you don't believe in God. You can believe in whatever you want. Every walk of life, every belief, every kid, kid, what are you doing? Yeah. Kid, you're a brat and you know it. Every single person is welcome here. So I just don't want anyone to feel like, oh, I can't go to those God streams. I don't believe in God. Nope, that's not the case at all. And we're not pushing it on anyone. So thank you for being here, Eric. Hey, Nicole Bell. I love that prayer, Nicole Bell. So guys, thank you. And huge, huge, huge thank you for the super chats. Abigail, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who super chatted me. Thank you to everyone who became a member, gifting memberships, all of those things I appreciate so much. I always say this, I'm a single mom. I've got 5 freeloading mouths to feed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. It's never asked for, but I appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for your time, for spending time with me for 2.5 hours on this stream. It really means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. I will be back tomorrow afternoon just to our regular stream. No idea what it's going to be about yet. But I just want to say these streams mean so much to me. I know there's less people in them, but I like that. It's more intimate. And it's the people who want to be here. The people who needed to hear this today did. And that's okay. The people who didn't attend, they weren't meant to. Jen Finberg, I love you too. Love you, Hope. I mean it, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. These are very inspiring streams for me. So thank you. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, mods, thank you. Chrissy Twig, love you too. And mods, thank you for being here and protecting us. Love you, Buffy. Liz Tricks, thank you for the photos. That was insane. Tamber June, yeah, prayers for your father for sure. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love you too, Holly. Thanks for being here. Original Ann, I always love you. Joanne Holly, if you're still here, I love you. Lady O, good night. Patty, I will look for your message, and thank you, Patty, for being here. Guys, I will see you tomorrow afternoon, and here comes Fred.